everybody. Thank you for watching this video today. Today's video is going to be called Emotional Vampires. Such a positive title, I know. So I've been wanting to talk about this subject for a long time. I don't know how it's going to all come out because I've been experiencing this energy the past several months, and I wasn't always completely aware that this was going on. I knew it on an internal level and on an intuitive level. However, because this energy was so sneaky and manipulative, I wasn't able to fully process it and be away from it long enough to really see exactly what it was that happened. So I want to talk about emotional vampires, energy vampires. It has become aware, I have become aware of, how can I put this? I've become aware of a bigger scope of what's actually occurring on Earth as far as different energies and entities go. So I always have known about the entities there, where they're at, but when they actually come through people and work through them, I don't want to call it demonic possession because I don't want to go there. I'm not one to, I have a positive, outlook on life, and I like to keep things positive. However, we have to really be aware of the truth. And above all else, above even being positive, I am a truth seeker. And when I feel things, on an internal level, and I see them, I like to experience them fully first so that I can convey the information in a way that you understand, so it could possibly help you if you're going through something similar. So these energies, there's lots of different kinds of beings. There's lots of different just like energies or forces or whatever, but these beings can work through people. And through my work with Amane, somebody asked how to spell that, AMANAE, emotional release therapy. Through this, I have become aware of more clearly about what's actually occurring, because over the years in my spiritual awakening, I have been shown these beings. And if you watched a previous video that I had, there was a certain day when I was on Maui that before I went into work, it was God's only spoken to me a handful of times in my life. And so when God speaks, I know that I better listen. And on that particular day, I was able to see with my eyes clearly these beings and how they gripped people's energy fields. And these ones were they were dark energy beings, and they kind of strangle the person's energy field. They take over. Now, those ones are kind of harmless, those particular entities, unless there's a lot of them. Some people have a lot of them. But the main thing is that there's beings that are operating on a little bit higher level, that these are the ones that are a little bit more dangerous, and these are the ones that are manipulative, and these are the ones that are kind of sneaky in a sense that they will try to use different energy techniques, hypnosis, brainwashing. And again, none of this can happen to you unless you allow it in. So what do? They get very sneaky, and they try to get to you in any way that they know how. I think that that's the best way to put it. So I've had my fair share of emotional vampires over the years. And I'm telling you, some are more sneaky and manipulative than others. And so this last occurrence that I just had recently with a particular person, now, okay, again, I don't want to be negative, and I do not want to go into conspiracy theory, because of course, we don't want to dwell there, but we do want to be made aware of what's actually occurring. And so there is an awareness of what's going on, and a compassion and a love for all the beings on the planet, all the humans on the planet. However, where I get in trouble is that I'm kind of naive in a sense, and not totally, I've learned over the years, like I said, but I can get drawn into things because of my kind heart and because I want to help and because I love so much. So in these ways, these emotional vampires can come in and sort of figure you out and figure out how to get to you on different levels. And it's so sneaky and it's so calculated and methodical, like you don't even know it's happening. It's occurring through this person. And sometimes, and that's what I want to go back to, this person's soul is good. So this person has a soul, but at whatever point down the road they decided to allow entities to come into their being, and that's the problem. So they will work through people. Some of them can come into the energy field and leave, and some of them just stay put. There's a lot of different things going on, and I'm still learning a lot. Like, I already knew it was going on, but I tend to be like, oh, rainbows and sunshine, and skip down the street and everything's wonderful. Well, that's okay, but I have been through some pretty extreme experiences in my life. I have been taken into the depths of darkness in order to experience that, because to me it is baffling. But it doesn't mean if you're dark that's bad. I mean, there's dark and there's light, and we're merging the two. However, it just becomes problematic when these different agendas that these beings hold come through and try to sway you from your agenda, or actually they just drain your energy. So they'll come in and they'll hook energetically to your chakras in whatever way they know how. I mean, there's lots of different techniques. I could give some examples. I'm not ready to do that yet, but I will possibly in the future. I don't know. But what I do know is that I would like to expose this, and I would like to get the information out there. So if you are experiencing this through a person, you know what's going on. It's not them. It's not their soul. It is these beings that come in and work through them to attack you, to steal your energy, basically, to actually bring you down, to siphon off your energy and bring you down. So, no, I'm not paranoid, because I did, think that for a little while. But then when it starts to get really bad, again, God shows me that this is what's actually occurring. And this is the bottom line. And no, it's not nice. It's not pretty sometimes. But it needs to be exposed. The truth has to come out so that people know, because what these different beings want is they want you to be in hiding. They want you to be alone, and they want you to be by yourself so that this information can't get out there. Okay, so these particular darker energies, they run through the societal structures. It's what's keeping this planet, gripped in this dysfunction. So, of course, we are healing our own stuff within, but we have to stay very strong in a sense of when we are releasing and purging some of these emotional things that we've come into the earth and embodied so that we could transmute. When we come through and take this on and decide to go through our experiences so that we can feel this, those particular places in your energy field, those places where you may be a little bit weak because you've experienced pain from the past in childhood, this is where these different energies can really creep in and get you, because it's where you're weak. So oftentimes these people will figure this out however they figure it out, because my mind does not work this way, so I have no idea how they figure this out, but they do. And it's baffling. And the reason it's baffling is because these beings, there's beings in the fourth dimension that are that know a lot of things about like energy and magic and all these things. And so you think of them as being like, advanced, like, oh, they know a lot, and so like some people will listen to them and be swayed by them. And then they're working through other people and they're trying to sway you. So don't ever be swayed. Know who you are. Stand in your strength and be that light and protect your energy field, because if there's certain energies that have an agenda, then they're not going to really let up. They're kind of like determined, and it will get out of hand, especially because they want you to think that you don't have anybody to talk to about it. And actually, this was happening to me the past several months. This has been happening to me, and I did tell people about it, but the people didn't understand, and I know why. And it's because it's so sneaky and manipulative, and it's working with the energy. They can feel it, but they don't know exactly what's happening. So it's important to feel like where it's happening in your solar plexus, in your heart. Where is this energy? Like, where are these hooks, and how is this energy being like taken from your field? And so you can feel it. You can feel what's happening. But the sneaky part is that sometimes you don't know exactly why or how to make it stop. So that is the key. I've made a video on strengthening your energy field, and it goes beyond that now. So you have to strengthen your energy field. And I'm not one to be like, oh, we had to put up a bunch of protective walls and, block people and stuff like that. But sometimes you have to. And especially if you're a sensitive person, if you're working in the light, you're an empath, you're shining love. A lot of these energies don't like that. They don't want that, because then their control and their power is gone. So they're going to try to bring that down. And as much as I skip around and look in the sky for rainbows and shooting stars, I have to remember that this is the reality of the situation on Earth, and I cannot be saddened by it. And I see beyond it in knowing that these people are good in their soul and their heart. However, because of whatever reason, they've decided to allow these energies to work through them, it can be very dangerous. And so you have to be aware. And they will play on your emotions. And that's why I call this emotional vampires, because they play on your emotional state. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I have a completely healed emotional body. In fact, my emotional body is one of the most difficult things that I've had to work with in my own growth, in my own path. Learning to balance my emotional energy, because I'm a very emotional person. And I don't want to make this video too long, but I do want to mention that emotional energy is very powerful. And these beings know that. And these beings actually feed off that emotional energy. So you want to protect your emotional energy. You want to try to keep it in balance. And you want to use it for good. So emotional energy can be transmuted to love, to creativity, to higher spiritual ideals, to your community, to loving others. And not only with your words, but through your actions. So, just taking your emotional energy, not letting people get you all wrapped up in some weird game, and protecting yourself a little bit better, and recognizing when this is occurring. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes people will come as friends. Some people will tell you everything you want to hear. It's like they know information about you that no one could know about you. Why? Because these higher beings up there that are taking over these people's energy fields know that information, because it's up there. So they're very sneaky. And if you have any problems with this, I sometimes don't have problems with this. And so that's when I get thrown off track. And when God showed me these beings, because he had to show me with my eyes, because I was like sort of in training where I had to learn to feel and sense and crystallize my own spiritual gifts enough to where I wasn't able to see with my eyes. But this particular day, God said, I'm going to show you something. And God showed me something with my eyes. I saw these beings. And then I've had experiences with these other magician beings, or whatever you want to call them. They are very magical. We'll just put it that way. So they come and they seem so magical. And they're crafty with their words. And they spin things. And I've had experiences with those beings. Those beings you know, they do know a lot of information. They have a lot of information, but you cannot let them to work through your energy field because they are not at the higher levels of just love, higher love. That's it. That's the bottom line. If someone's not really shining love, and this particular person that was kind of messing with me over this time was hollow in a sense. Like there was no real love. It was like a hollow like feeling, and I felt that, but the words and the magical spin on the whole thing kind of somehow I got caught up in that. Anyway, I'm back. And I have a lot of clarity around this now, and it's dissolved, and so now I can speak about it a little bit more, and I'm going to come out and talk more and more about this because I think it's helpful for people. I think people go through this a lot more than I was aware of. Let's just put it that way. Now that I've started this Amine work, I am being asked to do new things energetically and stuff like that, and in that I've had to go through some experiences that have been very difficult for me and challenging for me in order to strengthen my own spirit and my own mission and my own purpose. So that is what's happening right now. I love you all so much, and I hope you have a beautiful day.